Hey Reddit, this is going to be a long one, but I desperately need to share this absolutely insane saga that unfolded with my family. I, 38M, own a restaurant, the Corner Bistro, which has been my life for the past decade. My younger brother, Marcus, 35M, who has been consistently unemployed for the last 3 years, recently did something that I still struggle to comprehend. The Corner Bistro started as a tiny, almost bankrupt cafe in a less than desirable part of town. I sank every penny I had, worked 16-hour days, learned to cook, manage staff, and basically do everything myself. Slowly, painstakingly, it started to gain traction. The food was good, the atmosphere was cozy, and word of mouth spread. Over the years, I reinvested every profit, expanded the space, hired a talented chef, and built a loyal customer base. The Corner Bistro became a local gem, a place I was immensely proud of. My brother, Marcus, has always been different. While I was focused on building something, he seemed to drift. He's held a string of short-term jobs, telemarketer, retail assistant, even a brief stint as a door-to-door salesman, but nothing ever seemed to stick. For the past 3 years, he's been largely supported by our parents, Patricia, 65F, and David, 68M. They're kind-hearted people, but perhaps a little too enabling. They've always bailed Marcus out, hoping he'd eventually find his way. I've tried to be a supportive older brother. I offered advice on job applications, helped him with his resume, and even lent him money a few times when he was in a tight spot. But there's always been a sense of entitlement from his side, a feeling that I, being the more successful sibling, somehow owed him. About 6 months ago, Marcus started hanging around the restaurant more often. He'd come in for free meals, chat with the staff, mostly disrupting them, and generally make his presence known. Then came the proposition. One slow Tuesday afternoon, he cornered me in my office, a hopeful glint in his eyes. "Liam," he began, leaning back in my visitor's chair like he already owned the place, "I've been thinking. It's time for a change for me. And family should stick together." I braced myself. "What's on your mind, Marcus?" "Well," he continued, gesturing vaguely around the office, "you've done great with this place, Liam. Really great. But it's a lot of work for one person, right? I could help. We could be partners." My jaw almost dropped. "Partners? Marcus, with all due respect, you have no experience in the restaurant industry." "Come on, Liam," he scoffed. "It's not rocket science. I can learn. And think about it, 2 heads are better than 1. We could expand, open another location." His eyes glazed over with grandiose, unrealistic visions. I tried to explain, patiently, the years of blood, sweat, and literal tears that had gone into building the Corner Bistro. I detailed the intricacies of managing staff, dealing with suppliers, maintaining food quality, and the constant financial juggling act. I emphasized that bringing on a partner with no capital investment and zero relevant experience would be a recipe for disaster. "Look, Marcus," I offered, trying to find a middle ground, "I can offer you a job here. A paid position. You can start in the kitchen, learn the basics. If you're serious about working hard and learning the business from the ground up, there might be opportunities down the line. But co-ownership right now is simply not feasible." He exploded. "A job? You think I just want a handout? I'm talking about being an equal partner, Liam. This is family. You've got all this success, and you can't even throw a bone to your own brother?" The conversation devolved into accusations and recriminations. He accused me of being greedy and selfish, of forgetting our humble beginnings. He twisted my offer of employment into an insult, claiming I was just trying to lord my success over him. He stormed out, his parting words a venomous, "You'll regret this, Liam. You'll see." The following months were strained. Family gatherings became minefields of passive-aggressive comments from Marcus and thinly veiled disapproval from our parents, who sided with him, urging me to reconsider and help your brother out. I held firm, reiterating my job offer but refusing to budge on the co-ownership. The resentment in Marcus's eyes grew with each refusal. The tension simmered for months, a constant undercurrent at every family interaction. Marcus would show up at the restaurant occasionally, just to sit at the bar, nursing a drink and glaring at me. The staff felt uncomfortable, and his presence created a negative atmosphere. I had to politely but firmly ask him to limit his visits. Then came the night that changed everything. It was a Tuesday, ironically, almost 6 months to the day after Marcus's initial proposition. I had just locked up, feeling the familiar exhaustion but also the deep satisfaction of another successful day. I was halfway home when my phone rang. It was the police. "Mr. Davies? This is Officer Miller. We have a situation at the corner bistro. There's been a fire." My blood ran cold. My heart hammered against my ribs. I slammed on the brakes, my mind racing. "A fire? How bad is it?" "It's significant, sir. The building is heavily damaged. We're on scene now, and the fire department is working to contain it. We need you to come down here as soon as possible." The drive back was a blur of flashing lights and sirens in my rearview mirror. As I approached the corner bistro, the sight that greeted me was like a punch to the gut. Flames were licking at the roof, smoke billowed into the night sky, and firefighters were battling the inferno. My beautiful restaurant, the culmination of a decade of relentless effort, was being consumed by fire. I stood there, numb, watching in horror as the flames danced and devoured everything I had worked for. It felt surreal, like a terrible nightmare I couldn't wake up from. The smell of acrid smoke filled the air, and the heat radiating from the building was intense. The next few hours were a chaotic blur. Firefighters eventually brought the blaze under control, but the damage was extensive. The interior was gutted, the roof partially collapsed, and everything was coated in a thick layer of soot and ash. The fire marshal's team began their investigation almost immediately. The initial assessment was grim. It was arson. There were multiple points of origin, suggesting it wasn't an accident. My mind immediately went to Marcus. His threats, his simmering resentment, it all clicked into place with sickening clarity. The police started their investigation, and it didn't take long for the pieces to come together. Security footage from a bakery across the street showed a figure unmistakably Marcus's lurking near the back entrance of the corner bistro around the time the fire started. Witnesses from a nearby pub recalled a heated argument between Marcus and me outside the restaurant just a few days prior. When the police brought Marcus in for questioning, he initially denied any involvement. He played the innocent, the wronged brother. But as the evidence mounted, the security footage, the witness accounts, and perhaps a slip of the tongue under pressure, his facade crumbled. He confessed. He admitted to going to the restaurant that night, fueled by anger and a sense of injustice. He had broken in through the back, doused the interior with gasoline he'd siphoned from his own car, and set it ablaze. He described a twisted sense of satisfaction as he watched the flames rise, a perverse feeling that he was finally making me pay for humiliating him. The betrayal was a crushing weight. Not only had my own brother destroyed my livelihood, but the sheer malice and premeditation of his actions were horrifying. The emotional pain was a raw, gaping wound, almost eclipsing the devastating financial loss. The arrest and confession of Marcus sent shockwaves through our family and the local community. Our parents were utterly devastated, struggling to reconcile the son they knew with the person capable of such a destructive act. They were torn between their grief for my loss and their anguish over Marcus's actions. The legal proceedings moved swiftly. Marcus was charged with arson and faced serious jail time. His defense attempted to portray him as someone driven to desperation by unemployment and a feeling of being belittled by his successful brother. They argued for leniency, citing his lack of prior criminal record and his emotional state. However, the prosecution painted a clear picture of a vengeful act, highlighting the deliberate nature of the arson and the significant financial and emotional damage it had caused. The evidence was compelling, and the jury ultimately found Marcus guilty. He was sentenced to a substantial prison term, a stark consequence of his rage and poor choices. During this dark period, the support from the community was a beacon of light. The regulars at the corner bistro were heartbroken and angry on my behalf. They organized online fundraisers, held benefit nights at other local establishments, and offered countless words of encouragement. Local businesses offered help with cleanup and even temporary kitchen space if I wanted to continue some form of operation. The insurance process was a bureaucratic nightmare, but eventually, a settlement was reached that would cover a portion of the rebuilding costs. However, it was nowhere near enough to fully restore the corner bistro to its former glory. There were days when the weight of it all felt unbearable. The smell of smoke still clung to my clothes and haunted my dreams. The image of the flames consuming my restaurant was seared into my memory. I questioned whether I had the strength, the financial resources, or even the desire to start over. But amidst the despair, the unwavering support of the community kept a flicker of hope alive. Their belief in the corner bistro, their stories of how much it meant to them, and their tangible offers of help chipped away at my defeat. I realized that the corner bistro wasn't just my dream, it had become a part of the fabric of our town. Slowly, tentatively, I started to plan the rebuild. It was a daunting task, requiring permits, contractors, new equipment, and a complete overhaul of the fire-damaged space. But with the help of friends, former employees who were eager to return, and the incredible generosity of the community, the seemingly impossible began to feel achievable. The rebuilding process was a marathon, not a sprint. The demolition revealed the true extent of the damage: charred beams, melted wiring, and a pervasive layer of soot that seemed to have seeped into everything. It was a heartbreaking sight, a constant reminder of Marcus's destructive act. But with each step forward, a sense of hope began to grow. Friends with construction experience volunteered their weekends. Former kitchen staff helped with cleaning and inventorying salvageable items. A local architect offered pro bono design services. The outpouring of support was truly humbling and incredibly motivating. I decided that if I was going to rebuild, I was going to make the corner bistro even better. I redesigned the layout to create a more open and inviting space. I invested in state-of-the-art kitchen equipment. I even added a charming outdoor patio, something I had always dreamed of but never had the time or resources for before. The process was filled with setbacks, unexpected costs, permitting delays, and the emotional toll of constantly reliving the trauma. But the community remained my anchor. Fundraisers continued to pop up, and neighbors would stop by with food and words of encouragement. Finally, after months of tireless work, the day arrived for the grand reopening of the corner bistro. The anticipation in the town was palpable. When I unlocked the doors that morning, a line of eager customers stretched down the block. Many were regulars, their faces filled with warmth and excitement. The reopening was an emotional whirlwind. There were tears of joy, heartfelt hugs, and an overwhelming sense of gratitude. The restaurant was buzzing with life again, filled with the familiar sounds of clinking glasses, lively conversations, and the sizzle of food in the kitchen. It felt like a true victory, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of community. The new corner bistro thrived. The menu was refreshed, the ambience was inviting, and the food was as delicious as ever. It quickly reclaimed its place as a beloved local spot. My relationship with my parents has found a fragile new equilibrium. They are still grappling with the enormity of what Marcus did, the shame and heartbreak evident in their eyes. They visit the rebuilt restaurant occasionally, offering quiet support. We don't talk much about Marcus, the wound is still too raw, but there's a sense of shared grief and a tentative rebuilding of trust. As for Marcus, I haven't had any contact with him since the trial. The betrayal was too profound, the damage too extensive. While I don't harbor active hatred, there's a deep chasm between us that I don't see bridging anytime soon. The corner bistro stands as a symbol of resilience, a reminder that even in the face of devastating betrayal and loss, hope and new beginnings are possible. It's a testament to the incredible support of a community that refused to let a dream die. The ashes yielded a new, stronger foundation, and the corner bistro, once lost, has risen again, brighter than ever.